All right, man. What's up with y'all? We got another video. We got Rondale Moore deserves better than this by the microphone, which is the spot mic.
Players all around the NFL world are still grieving the loss of Vikings wide receiver Rondale Moore.
Out in former Trinity and Purdue wide receiver Rondale Moore has died at the age of 25.
Haley says officers are investigating a home on Eakin Avenue after Moore was found dead in that home's garage.
On Saturday, the NFL lost one of its own. Rondale Moore, the former Purdue star, Arizona Cardinals receiver, and most recently a member of the Minnesota Vikings, was found in a garage in his hometown of New Albany, Indiana. He was 25 years old, and according to New Albany Police Chief Todd Bailey, Moore's life ended from what is believed to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. An autopsy was conducted the following day, and the investigation is still ongoing. 25 years old. That's it. The dude.
Y'all gotta keep your mental health up, bro. Cause I actually seen this on my phone when I was watching TikTok. I seen AJ Brown was talking about it and how we gotta not be as men. We gotta not be afraid to get help and ask for help if you need it, bro. That's why I be telling y'all, bro. Y'all be seeing these people are famous and think, oh yeah, they have the best life. They don't have to work a 9 to 5. They got, millions of dollars, flashy chains, cars and shit. But it's I feel like that type of stuff messes up your mental more because it's people always expect something from you. You feel me? If you got mad money, then your family gonna want things from you. You might have relationships with females; they only want that from you, so you can never really have a real relationship. Every time you want to have anything private, it's not because you're famous, so everybody's gonna know about it in some way, somehow. You know what I'm saying? So you really just gotta be aware of that type of stuff, and just make sure that before you even get famous, if you can, just try and keep the things you want private, and maybe even if it's a relationship, talk to them before y'all get famous or before some of y'all start posting each other and stuff like that, and just establish everything so y'all know.
Dude was 25 years old. He had his whole life ahead of him. And I think the thing that's bothering me the most about this story, and the thing that I keep going back to, is that everything about Rondale Moore's career was pointing to this kind of pain, and nobody seemed to catch it in time. Or maybe they did, and the system just wasn't built to actually help him. Because here's the thing about Rondale Moore that a lot of people don't realize. This wasn't some fringe roster guy who quietly disappeared. This was one of the most electric players college football had seen in years. A consensus All-American as a true freshman. A guy who had Max Crosby saying,
I remember playing against Rondale Moore and I was like, that's the coldest dude I've ever been on the field with up to that point. He was like Tyreek Hill in college. First team All-American as a freshman. I still might have the messages, but I was sending a Mike Mayock. The next year he went to the draft and I was like, we need Rondale Moore. This dude is Tyreek Hill. But God, bro, check on your people. Too much hate in this world. Stay positive.
And then piece by piece,
Shout out Max Crosby.
injury by injury, the game he loved took everything from him. So today we're going to tell the full story of Rondale Moore, from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows, because this isn't just a story about football. This is a story about what happens when your entire identity gets ripped away from you and nobody knows how to put it back together. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, this one's really tough, but it's so important. Before we get to this video, just a brief word from our sponsor.
No, man.
So devastating. You need to understand.
Hold on, go back. Okay, I respect it. That's my. I thought it was an ad.
To understand,
but it's gonna remind me of Karen Lacey a little bit too. RP to him.
Why this loss is so devastating, you need to understand just how special Rondale Moore was. This kid just didn't play football, he changed programs. Moore grew up in New Albany, Indiana, right across the river from Louisville. He went to Trinity High School in Louisville, which just so happened to be the same high school as Purdue's head coach at the time, Jeff Brohm. And that connection is what ultimately pulled Moore to West Lafayette instead of Texas, where he originally committed. Thank God for that, because what Moore did at Purdue was honestly ridiculous. In his very first college, what Moore did at Purdue was honestly ridiculous. In his very first college game, his first game ever as a Boilermaker, Moore put up 313 all-purpose yards against Northwestern. That broke a Purdue record that had stood for 46 years, since Otis Armstrong in 1972. 313 yards in his debut. By halftime, he already had 302. The kid was a cheat code from the very first snap. But the game that really put Rondale Moore on the map was on October 20th, 2018. Purdue versus number 2 ranked Ohio State. And if you're a college football fan, you already know this game. This was the Tyler Trent game. For those of you guys who don't remember, Tyler Trent was a Purdue student who was battling bone cancer and had become the heart and soul of the Boilermaker fan base. Before the Ohio State game, Trent went on ESPN College Game Day and predicted Purdue would pull the upset. Nobody believed him. Ohio State was the number 2 ranked team in the country. Purdue had already started 0-3 that season. It didn't make sense on paper, but Rondale Moore didn't care about what made sense on paper. Moore went up and put up 12 receptions, 170 receiving yards, and 2 touchdowns as Purdue absolutely demolished Ohio State 49-20, and it wasn't even close. And Moore was the catalyst for the whole thing. That game became one of the most iconic moments in Purdue history, and Rondale Moore was at the center of it. Tyler Trent passed away just months later in January of 2019, and after Moore's death this past weekend, the Tyler Trent Foundation posted a tribute saying they vividly remember.
Words feel inadequate to express how deeply saddened we are with the passing of Rondale Moore. Hearts and prayers go to his family and friends. We don't know what's surrounding us if we are hurting for each other.
The plays Moore made that helped Tyler's prediction come true. They said the two had formed a friendship that season, with Tyler texting Rondale on game day for encouragement, and they said Rondale will always be a part of their story. That right there tells you everything about the kind of person that he was. By the end of his freshman year, Moore had 114 receptions for 1,258 yards and 12 touchdowns. He broke the school's single season record with 2,215 all-purpose yards. He won the Paul Hornung Award as the most versatile player in college football. He was named the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, the Big Ten Receiver of the Year, and became the first Big Ten true freshman to earn consensus All-American honors. The first one ever as a true freshman at 5'7" and 180 pounds. This little guy was making grown men look silly. But here's the thing that makes everything that comes next even more difficult. Moore ran a 4.3 40-yard dash and could squat 3 times his body weight. He wasn't just fast, he was explosive in a way that made you sit up and say, what the hell did I just watch? His college teammate Jackson Anthrop called him the most electrifying player I've ever been around. Jeff Brum, his head coach, said he was a complete joy to coach, with a work ethic that was unmatched by anyone. But here's where the story starts to shift, because injuries didn't wait for the NFL to show up. They came for Rondale Moore at Purdue first. In his sophomore year, a hamstring injury limited him to just 4 games. He finished with only 29 receptions for 387 yards. In his junior year, he initially opted out because of COVID. Then he came back, but the hamstring flared up again. He played just 3 games and had 35 receptions for 270 yards. So out of his final 2 seasons at Purdue, Rondale Moore played a total of 7 games. After putting up one of the greatest freshman seasons in Big Ten history, he spent the next 2 years watching from the sideline. So you might be thinking,
okay, that was college football. The NFL will be different. He'll get better medical care.
That's not what would happen at all. The Arizona Cardinals took Moore with the 49th overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, and early on you could see why. In just his second career NFL game, Moore caught a pass from Kyler Murray and took it 77 yards to the house for a touchdown. That play was a reminder that when Rondale Moore had the ball in his hands, special things happened. He finished his rookie season with 54 receptions for 435 yards and a touchdown, while also contributing as a punt and kick returner. Sure, it wasn't a Pro Bowl season, but this was very solid for a rookie who was 4th on the depth chart. But then 2022 hit and the pattern from college came back. A hamstring injury kept him out for the first 3 games. He came back, started 8 games, then got placed on injured reserve in December. He finished with 41 receptions for 414 yards and a touchdown. Another incomplete season. Another year where the world only got a fraction of what Rondale Moore could actually do. 2023 was actually the best year he'd have in the league because it was the only full season he ever played. All 17 games, he put up 40 receptions for 352 yards and a touchdown on the receiving end, plus 178 rushing yards. He actually became the first wide receiver in Cardinals history to top 100 rushing yards in a single season. That's a cool stat, but it also tells you something about how the Cardinals were using him. He was a gadget guy, a jet sweep player, not the featured weapon his talent said he should be. But then, in March of 2024, Arizona traded Moore to the Atlanta Falcons in exchange for Desmond Ridder. consider. That trade itself tells you where things stood. Moore, a former second-round pick, was being swapped for a quarterback that Atlanta didn't even want anymore. His value had already started to erode because teams saw the injury history and they got nervous. And what happened next in Atlanta is where everything really started to fall apart. During joint practices with the Miami Dolphins before the 2024 season, Moore injured his right knee. His season was over. He never played a single snap for the Falcons. He spent the entire 2024 season on injured reserve, watching from the sideline for the third time in his career. And at this point, Moore had missed significant time due to injury in 5 of his 6 professional and college seasons. The only full season he ever played was 2023, and even that was an underwhelming year stat-wise. But Rondale Moore didn't quit. He rehabbed, he worked, and in March of 2025, the Minnesota Vikings gave him a shot, signing him to a 1-year, $2 million deal. A prove-it contract, and this should have been his comeback story. This should have been the chapter where we're talking about how he fought back from all the setbacks and reminded the world who he was. Instead, during the Minnesota Vikings' very first preseason game in August of 2025, Moore tore his ACL, his left knee this time, different knee than the one that
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I look at it like this though too. Like I feel like at some point, if you get injured that many times, like you just gotta hang it up, bro. Like I ain't gonna lie, bro. Cause like either that or you just need to like, even if they say you're clear, just don't play for a little bit. Like give it like 2-3 months, just recover a little longer, go to rehab, or not rehab, but PT, and just do that, bro. For me, because if you get injured every single season, damn near, you got injured in college, can play your full season in college. You got injured in the NFL, can play. You only play 1 full season out of 3. And then you got to another team, got injured again, and tore your ACL.
Atlanta, season over again. For the 2nd straight year, his season was done before it ever started. 2 consecutive preseasons, 2 consecutive season-ending knee injuries, 2 years in a row where he put in all the work, got himself ready.
He got hurt though. I ain't gonna lie, he got hurt.
And had it ripped away before the real games even began. Just think about that for a second, guys. Rondale Moore hadn't played in a real regular season NFL game since December of 2023. He went from being a consensus All-American, from being compared to Tyreek Hill, from putting up record-breaking numbers as an 18-year-old to a 25-year-old who hadn't seen a football field in over a year, sitting on injured reserve for a team that signed him to a minimum deal, wondering if he would ever play again. And this is where we need to talk about what that does to a person. Not a player, but an actual person.
That's facts.
After Rondale Moore's death, the NFL did what the NFL always does. They posted a statement. The Minnesota Vikings also posted a statement, and the Cardinals posted a statement. And it was all the right words in all of the right places. Devastated, heartbroken, our thoughts and prayers. And look, I'm sure those sentiments are real, but what happened next is what actually matters, because it's current and former players who peeled back the curtain on what's really going on inside these buildings. Listen to AJ Brown's take on this.
Yeah,
you may not get everything that you desire. Sometimes this game is not friendly. People are going to say nasty things about you, call you this, call you that, but none of those things in that moment define you. You just have to understand that this is just a short period of time, short moment of life. In your life, I should say, in your life, short moment in your life, that's just gonna go just like that. We have the rest of our lives to live. We are incredible human beings.
We need more people to come out like this.
Accomplish the world. You already made it.
No matter what you do, bro.
Don't be down on yourself. Don't get down on yourself. I understand how it feels. I understand what it feels like to try to take care of your family. I understand all those things when you're trying to achieve this, you're trying to achieve that.
Jamal Adams, who's dealt with his own brutal injury history, went on X and said something that I think every person needs to hear. He wrote, "I'm not jumping to conclusions, but let me say this. Fans and media be quick to label a player injury prone. We don't choose to get hurt. Sometimes just happens. Y'all don't see the rehab, the pain, the mental drain it causes. That process can make you lose yourself. This is real. No matter how much support you get, you still gotta fight that battle alone." Read that last part again. No matter how much support you get, you still gotta fight that battle alone. That's coming from a guy who's lived it. And Vikings captain Jonathan Greenard co-signed that message and took it even further, calling out the impact social media has on players who are already down. I mean, a good example of this is the way Andrew Luck's career ended. You could just see the pain in his eyes as he realizes that he cannot take.
But that's what I was saying too. Like, if you can't, especially like if it's too much stress, you miss so much of your season, you might just have to give it up, bro. And just, I mean, you don't necessarily give it up, but just take a break from it. You know, just rehab up, just get close to God, make sure that's really the path that He wants for you, and just go from there.
Of rehabilitation anymore, and how he'd rather retire than endure.
I feel like when it comes to getting injured, your first instinct is to keep playing, because it's what you strive your whole life to get to. But I feel like if you play too early, it's just gonna make it worse.
Pain again.
The lack of progress on my ankle, and I'm in pain. I'm still in pain. I've been in this cycle, which feels like, I mean, it's been 4 years of this injury pain rehab cycle, and for me to move forward in my life the way I want to, it doesn't involve football.
And the moment his retirement came out, how did Indianapolis Colts fans react to it? They reacted by booing him as he walked out of Lucas Oil Stadium for the last time.
Hey, you'll never see the Eagles in no like this. But where's he at?
But the most real, most raw, and most honest thing that came out of this whole situation was from a dude named Braden Feheko. He's a former defensive lineman. He played for the Chargers, spent time with the Steelers and Bengals, and this man held nothing back. He wrote, "I'ma keep it a stack. I don't care. I'm retired and I'll say what I want." These NFL teams come out here and post these mental health awareness posts talking about they care about players, don't be afraid to reach out, etc. But all they care about is what you bring to the table when it's game day. Most players don't want to get help inside the building of an NFL organization because they know you'll get looked at differently. You go to a staff member and tell them you're struggling.
But that's also just what mental health is for men in general, though. It's like, it's not even necessarily the NFL. I feel like in general, men think that they shouldn't expose how they feel and their real emotions, so they just don't do it, And then it's like crazy to think that, if you famous, people, they love you, all that. You feel me? Like I said, bro, regardless, even if you have a lot of money or not, you're still gonna have a problem with you. Your fans may have the same thing, like say you don't perform good this game, whatever. But it's like, I feel like as a man, venting how you feel is just so unnormalized. And it's like a lot of times too, when you vent to people, people don't really care. You feel me? Like even if you do vent to them, they don't care. They just say things to make you feel like they care, so that you say you have someone to talk to. You feel me? If you go vent to something, if somebody coming down the street asks you if you're okay, and you say no, they're not gonna really care. If you feel me, like they're just saying that to start convo. They're not really gonna care how you feel. They're just saying that to be nice. If you tell them no, I'm not good. I mean, they may listen to what you gotta say, but they probably don't care that much. You feel me? They're not gonna try and make an effort to help you or better you. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's just about getting closer to God at that point, bro. Because it's like He'll never judge you. If you tell these people how you feel, they may judge you. They may talk bad about you, tell people about you, whatever. But if you talk to God about it, you know what I'm saying, He'll help you, man. He'll guide you.
Watch how different they start treating and looking at you. I've seen it firsthand. I'll start believing they care about player health when the owner, GM, and head coach treat everyone on that roster the same from the franchise.
Too, bro. I feel like when you on teams, if you're not the best player, you don't even get treated. And that's why I feel like when it comes to football or just sports in general, it's just about what you can do and how good you are in your potential. You feel me? If you see, someone that's really good, like say Prime OBJ. If you see Prime OBJ and then you see who's a not as good player, like just say Prime OBJ and just a regular receiver, bro, four string receiver. If OBJ is struggling, they're gonna give him that help. Feel me? If a four-string receiver has like 2 yards on the season, only does blocking when he plays on the field, barely even plays on the field in general, but still gives that same effort as OBJ does when it comes to trying to be the best, he won't get treated as much and as good. You feel me? Or say, school-wise, say it's a best player on the team. Say he's struggling with his grades. He doesn't, go to practice that often. You feel me? He just feels he has a big ego, talks to everybody however he wants. Even if he quits or he leaves or whatever, coaches are going to be more likely to, oh, yeah, I got to get him back. I got to get him back on our team. You feel me? So it's just really about what you bring to the table in some instances with
QB to the janitor. Until then, don't tell me they care because they posted some hotline number when stuff like this happens. Man, that is devastating.
But
the part that really got me was,
and I ain't gonna lie, shout out him because not many people are going to say that, bro.
Sometimes as a man, especially in the football world, we're afraid of being judged.
The NFL team as a team, coordination, don't just offer help, make it mandatory. Sometimes as a man, especially in the football world, we're afraid of being judged for look at week. Make it mandatory to have a sit down with guys because most of them won't take the initiative. That's facts. Hey, shout out this guy, bro. Because that's facts. I feel like, too, like, people aren't really going to say that they have problems mentally, bro. You feel me? Even if they go to the doctor or whatever, bro. So it's like, if you don't make that a priority, I feel like, and that's what it really comes down to as well, bro. It's about the mental health of the people. I remember my coach used to tell me, like, as a team, like, if we lose the love of football or just lose the love of anything, it ruins them. You feel me? If we play football every single day, and it's so draining, we're losing so much, we never have fun, then it's gonna devastate us, and we're not even gonna want to play no more. We're gonna just want to, either do it just to do it, or you feel me. So it's like it's really just it comes down to like help and helping people, bro. Because I feel like if everyone's mental health was in the same capacity, everybody was happy, there'll be so much more potential in a lot of people that we don't know about, bro. But I feel like mental health could take a turn on a lot of people, and it can make them struggle a lot. You feel me? Because I've seen it, and I have dealt with it a couple times.
They're looked at as weak. Make it mandatory to have a sit down with guys, because most of them won't take the initiative. And look, I'm not here to armchair diagnose anything about Rondale Moore's mental state. We don't know everything he was going through. What we do know is what was visible. Back-to-back injuries, 2 full seasons on the shelf watching other guys do what he dreamed of doing. The label of injury prone following him around like a shadow. His identity as a football player, the thing he'd done since he was a kid in New Albany, Indiana, slowly being taken away from him. And here's the detail that absolutely wrecked me. Hours before Moore was found, his former Cardinals teammate Hollywood Brown had gotten a message from him. Brown posted on X, "Bro, ain't no way, you just messaged me a few hours ago." And then in a follow-up, Brown wrote, "You wasn't alone. I told you I know how you feel." Brown then shared a screenshot of a text he'd sent Moore back in August, right around the time Moore tore his ACL for the second time. The text read, "I'm here if you ever need to talk. I know how feels. It sucks, dog, but knowing you built for this, don't give up." And above that screenshot, Brown wrote something that I haven't been able to stop thinking about. He said, "I always wanted to speak life into you because I knew you were great. Even when I would send these messages, I would be talking to myself too because I knew we both was dealing with injuries." The last part is so important. I would be talking to myself too because I knew we were both dealing with injuries. Hollywood Brown is telling you right there, he was going through the same pain, the same struggle.
But I feel like a lot of NFL players do that too, and that's why you see NFL players, rappers, NBA players that just always are on drugs and stuff like that. That's why you see, like, even in that video I made earlier with the that DB that got arrested. It's like when your mental health takes a turn, a lot of times famous people just either take drugs or whatever it is to get them happy in the time. You feel me? That's why I feel like a lot of the music and stuff you hear nowadays is real, bro. Like, they really feel that emotion, bro. Even if it sounds catchy, sounds cool, funny, whatever, that's really how they feel behind closed doors. And they don't tell nobody about it. And then when the time comes where, they feel like they can't handle it and that people don't really care, because I feel like especially when you get famous, a lot of people don't care about how you feel and where you at. They just want you to do, you feel me, entertain them, bro. Like people said, like when you're a famous person in this world nowadays, it's like you're really like a TV, like YouTubers and rappers and all them. It's like you're a TV actor. For me, people only just want to see you entertaining. If you're not entertaining, they don't want to be around you. Feel me? If you start making bad music, they don't want to listen to you no more. You feel me? They don't really care about how you feel. They just want to be entertained and happy. You feel me? So I feel like it's really just a cycle of life. Everybody feels a certain way. Feel me? So even if people are, only talking to you or watching you for motivation, or not motivation, for entertainment, then that entertainment is probably because they're struggling and they need help and nobody's helping them. So you're entertaining them. If you stop entertaining them, now they got to go find someone else. You feel me? And then they may be struggling. The person they find might also be struggling. So they might start posting that, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it really just comes down to mental health.
But how many guys in the NFL are dealing with the exact same thing right now and don't have a Hollywood Brown in their phone? How many guys are sitting in a training facility somewhere, rehabbing a torn ACL or a broken leg, scrolling through social media and seeing people call them
That's why I feel like, honestly, if people get injured, especially like ACL tears and all those type of injuries, same thing with even like, the Tyler Loop situation when he missed that field goal and people were sending him death threats and stuff like that. So, stuff like that, you got to get checked, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, all jokes aside, because it's like, people getting death threats for missing field goals and selling parlays and stuff like that. That type of stuff you got to check, bro, because these people are real human beings at the end of the day, bro. So they may go home and, you know, like especially like say I miss a field goal to get me in the playoffs or in the Super Bowl, whatever. That's already stress within itself. But then also knowing that there's people trying to, you know, do things to me for me missing a field goal, you know, as if I did it on purpose. You feel me? So it's like it's the same thing. And I also feel like the same thing with Allen Iverson's situation too. When he lost the championship and he was like, he's still human, whatever. Same thing there, bro. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's really just about mental health. Like, if someone gets a tear ACL or missed a field goal, first thing they should do before rehab, none of that. They get mental help. You feel me? First. Then they get cleared and they can go back to, you know, their schedule of rehab.
And washed and a bust, and nobody in the building is checking on them because the building only cares about what you're doing on Sundays. And by the way, Moore's last interaction on social media was responding to a post that Brown had put on his close friend story on Instagram. The post said, "People really believe if you got money, you don't go through anything and have no problems." That's what Rondale Moore connected with in what may have been his final hours. A message about how money doesn't protect you from pain, because it doesn't. There's also a viral clip from 2021 that resurfaced after
JJ Watt. But yeah, that's like I remember too, like the same thing with says in the Bible, like even if you have God, you still gonna go through trials, and that's when you're gonna go through the most. So it's like you gotta know, even if you do get what you dream of and all that, it's still gonna be trial tribulations with that. You're never gonna not have trials and problems in your life, but they'll always make you stronger. Feel me?
Moore's death. It's of JJ Watt giving Moore a pep talk when they were teammates on the Cardinals.
Okay?
No.
What's wrong?
Got a ball.
Did it hit your hands?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Nope. That's your job description. That's gonna be tough, you know. I'm kidding. It's fine. Is it Wednesday or is it Sunday? Be pissed about it. Stay after, catch a few extra balls, and then catch it on Sunday. Yeah. You know how many times I've been knocked on my ass in my career? You get back up and you go out there and you catch the next one.
The people who knew Moore all say the same things. He was humble, soft-spoken, respectful, hardworking, dedicated. These aren't throwaway words that people use just because somebody passed.
There's no way it's so special. Someone's love to give.
Rondale Moore was genuinely well-liked by everyone who crossed his path. Byron Murphy Jr., who played with Moore in both Arizona and Minnesota, posted a photo from Moore's draft day and wrote, "Tell your people you love them." Here's where I need to zoom out, because Rondale Moore's story isn't an isolated incident, and the NFL has to stop pretending like it is.
Former NFL players say league doesn't care.
According to reports from 2011 to 2019, the suicide rate for former NFL players was 2.6 times higher than for the NBA and the MLB. And Moore was reportedly the second NFL player in the last year alone to have ended his life. The first one being Marshawn Nealon. This is not a coincidence. This is a pattern, and a pattern demands answers. The NFLPA put out a statement that was actually pretty strong. They wrote, "In moments like this, we are reminded of how much our players carry on and off the field. To our members, please know that support is always within reach. Check on your teammates." And
it's literally like, it's crazy how the NFL player literally said that they don't care about your mental health. They're just saying that just to make themselves look better, bro. Like, it's crazy to think that actually could be true. That these people really don't care. They just want to make money, feed their family, and that's it, bro. They don't care what you go through or what you feel me, what's going on in your life. As long as you show up every single day and you know, make their team look good, make their record be good, you know, possibly get to a championship. And it's crazy too, because it's like they may get pushed so hard and have all these mental health problems, and they might not even win nothing. You feel me? So they already got bad mental health, and then they get even more because they got death threats and all that, and then they don't even win a championship. So it's like that's also adding on to it. You feel me?
Prioritize your mental health. And they acknowledged Moore's role as player rep, which shows you this was a guy who cared about his fellow players even while he was dealing with his own pain. Mike Jackson, who plays cornerback for the Carolina Panthers, came forward publicly with his own experience going to therapy, trying to normalize the conversation. But right there proves Fajeko's point. The fact that a current NFL player feels like he needs to come forward and say, "Hey, I go to therapy and that's okay," tells you that the culture inside NFL buildings has not caught up to where it needs to to be.
That's
In
lucky.
2026, the idea of seeing a therapist should not be a brave admission. It should just be a regular day.
Normal,
Think
bro.
about what an NFL player
But y'all
goes
gotta
through.
remember that, bro. And it's not even just about NFL players, it's just in general, bro. You gotta remember you're a human being, bro. You feel me? Don't ever feel like you too good or like it's bad or whatever. Because therapy can really help you, bro. You feel me? And it could really lead to your max potential if you get it, bro. So I feel like don't be scared to go to therapy, bro. I used to go to therapy when I was 14. For me, when I had someone pass away, I went to therapy every single day after school. And when I went home after that, I was happy. I mean, I was numb to what happened, but at least I felt like I was heard, bro. That's why I feel like even if you feel like you can't trust somebody to talk to, like in your family, just get it in general, bro. Because that person that you get therapy with, they can really help you, bro, and they can save you, bro. In a sense, you feel me?
They get hurt. Their entire routine gets disrupted. They can't be with the team in the same way. They're in the training room while everyone else is at practice. They're watching film of other guys playing their
They
position.
need to start, like, in the NFL, bro, they need to start having, like, mental health, like, not even in NFL in general, just in life, but, like, just sports especially, they need to have, like, therapy sessions. Like, because I remember we had practice, like, not even just like I say either that or like before every practice, before every game, before film, pre-game meal, all that, they have a therapy session. Or like therapy and meditation. Or what's it called? Yoga? Yeah, yoga. They have therapy and yoga. And then if they want to start making that instead of like workouts and stuff, they do yoga for an hour, maybe have like their family come with them or girlfriend, sister, whatever, and just have like a day each week where you can just sit down with your family, have therapy if you need it. You can get mental health thing, maybe watch a movie with your team, and your players and your family. Do yoga, maybe have like some cake, cupcakes, stuff like that. Same thing with like birthdays too. Birthdays, they have a little celebration for every player. Get a little thing, your locker get decorated. Maybe get some food, some gift cards, stuff like that.
They're seeing their name in articles with words like injury prone attached to it. Social media is full of people clowning them, calling them soft, calling them fragile, and saying the team should move on. And on top of all of this, they're wondering whether they will be the same
I ain't gonna
again.
lie,
Whether they'll
I ain't gonna lie. I just feel like y'all can't take these little trolls serious, bro. Like a lot of these trolls that be trolling y'all NFL players and NBA players and stuff, bro, they don't do nothing. I'll just be honest with you, they really don't do nothing at all. Like they probably sit on their just watch videos all day, eat popcorn, play video games. They don't really have any social interactions. I don't really think you should take that serious, bro. I'm gonna be honest, because I know me. If I was an NFL player, bro, and someone was trolling me, yo, dude, I ain't gonna lie, dog. I wouldn't ego them like the money thing, but bro, I just would laugh, bro. I'm gonna be honest. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like NFL players, I feel like a lot of them, like NBA players, they don't take that serious. Like, it's not necessarily that, oh yeah, somebody said I suck, I'm about to, feel me? It's really more of just like, the other mental health stuff that they go through. But I just feel like if I was famous, bro, someone trolling me, like, dog, I ain't gonna lie, dog, I wouldn't take them serious, bro. You feel me? I really wouldn't. Because, I mean, like I said, everybody's going to hate on you. For me, people hated Jesus, was the perfect man. For me, they're going to hate you too. But just don't let people get in your head, man. For me, if y'all struggling, get y'all help, man. Talk to whoever you need to. You don't have to go to a therapist. You can just talk to somebody in general. But don't feel like you have to take pills or drugs to feel happy. Feel like you got to, rob people or whatever. Just... For me, and that's why I say, with Jair Alexander, I think someone else, there was another NFL player that took a break from football just to get himself right. I feel like a lot of people need to start normalizing that too. You feel me? If you going through a lot, bro, take a couple days off the NFL, man, or the NBA, whatever career you take, even if it's not like sports or anything like that. If you feel like you need some help, mental health help, or your family's going through a lot, someone passed away, whatever. Take a little break, bro. feel me? Because the real one's gonna understand why. And I feel like if a job has a problem with you taking a couple of days off because you need some help, like mentally, that's not the job for you, bro. You feel me? There's a lot of other jobs you could pick, but don't ever feel like you know, a slave to money or a slave to anything, bro. You feel me? If you need help, bro, get some help, bro. For me, there's nothing wrong with having a therapist. Nothing wrong with, you know, doing yoga or crying. You know, also crying too. If you need to cry, bro, you gotta cry, bro. Don't let people feel like you less yourself or less of a man for crying, or, you know, even if you have to vent on social media. I mean, I wouldn't say you should do that, but I mean, do what you gotta do. The real ones, like I said, people are always gonna hate on you, bro. So the real ones, they gonna understand. You going on social media and you vent to your viewers. A lot of people probably can help you, bro. You feel me? But just don't ever feel less of a man or less of a girl, or, you know, whatever, because people, feel me, feel like you can't cry or can't talk to people. You feel me? Because I feel like emotion bottled up, like Katie said, when you have too much emotions bottled up, bro, you think out of impulse. And that's why I feel like a lot of people have, you know, passed away to suicide, because it was like an impulse thing. They have all this trauma built up, all this anger towards everybody since they don't vent to nobody, talk to nobody. And then time comes where they just can't take it no more. They just, feel me? So it's really just about just getting asked for help if you need it. I mean, like I said, you don't have to talk to the person every single day. You don't have to get therapy every single day, but, you know, just vent to somebody, bro. Even if it's God, if it's, you know, your dog. I won't say your dog, but I mean, honestly, anybody. As long as you letting it out, it don't matter who you talk to. You talk to your dog, talk to your kids, family member, therapist, whatever you gotta do, bro.
Still have the same role on their team once they return, or if their NFL career could potentially be over. Inside the building, the team is already thinking about who's going to replace them, because that's the business. The NFL doesn't wait for you to heal, it moves on.
That is facts too, and that also might be another factor, because even if you are like the best player, if you injure for a long time, it gives so many more people. It also leads to trades too. I feel like too, it gives so much like lesser people, because you have to realize, when you're thinking about it like this, I think of the NFL and the NBA as a bracket. The worst players and the best players, right? But it goes like there's different brackets. So there's people that aren't as good, aren't as bad, you know, etc. But I feel like if you are injured for a long time, it gives the people who don't get to play, and that's when the people that don't get to play the best. Because they're like, okay, bet he's injured, now I could get some more minutes in. Even if I don't play on this team, boom, I could get traded. I could get traded, go to a way better team, and win a championship. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's that, and then it's also, you're sitting here watching this. Like, you're sitting here watching people that were, you know, never starters or started, and they're going crazy at one-handed catches, toe tap catches, game-winning touchdowns, and all that, bro. And you just sitting there, and you never know when you'll recover. And then, boom, you may recover. You may be even worse than you was before, because you just recovered. Now it's so much more pressure, because you're like, damn, I got to get back to rehab. I got to get better. I got to top this person that was way below me, but now he's way better now. You feel me? And then you might even get traded. Like, I don't know. I don't think you could trade if you're injured, but I think even if you can't get traded when you get injured, when you get back to playing, you might not be the best, so you might get traded to another team. You know, it's just like, it's so many different things that can happen. That's why I say, like, you know, like I said, if you feel like you gotta retire, or, you know, but it is always like, I feel like if you're in sports, you're always gonna feel like someone's gonna replace you. You feel me? There's always gonna be somebody that can replace you, and that's why I feel like that's really what comes down to sports, because it's like, it's the best of the best, bro. So you get injured, that doesn't matter to anybody else, because that just gives them a bigger opportunity to be better than you, and then now you can't even play no more. For me.
Multiply that by 2 consecutive years, 2 consecutive preseasons where you finally feel healthy. You show up to camp excited, you're ready to prove everybody wrong, and your knee gives out again. A different knee this time, just to make it hurt even more. And now you're 25 years old with 2 torn ACLs, sitting on injured reserve for a team.
But yeah, I ain't gonna lie, 2 torn ACLs, you just gotta hang it up, bro. I ain't gonna lie, that's crazy, bro. And it's back-to-back too. You had a torn ACL, you come back, you play, and you get another torn ACL.
That signed you to
like
a $2 million prove-it deal. The prove-it deal that you never got to prove anything on. You're a free agent in a few weeks, and you have no idea if any team in the NFL is going to give you another shot. What does that do to your sense of self?
And then imagine him having to go play overseas after this. Like, he got injured, he wasn't good enough for the NFL. They are, yeah, we send you overseas. Now you got to make from overseas all the way back up to the NFL again after
What
already
does
going
that
from
do
college
to a
to
kid
NFL.
from New Albany, Indiana, who is setting records as an 18-year-old who helped make Tyler Trent's prediction come true?
And
Who was
it's like
supposed to be the
people already
next
know that you have good talent because you showed it, bro. You feel me? You broke records. You know, you was drafted. I feel like if you're drafted in general, you have to be some type of good, in my opinion. So you was drafted, went to a team, tried your best, got injured. You feel me? He didn't even get to finish his
Tyreek
whole
Hill?
senior
Where
season.
does that kid go
He
when
was
the
just going
game
crazy as freshman and
disappears?
then
And
got
this is
injured
what
and
I
then
think the
couldn't really play
NFL
after
needs
that.
an answer for. Not with statements, not with hotline numbers posted to social media, with actual...
And then it's like even now it makes it worse. That's why I think of it too. And that's why I separate myself as well. Because it's like if I feel like I have to tell you to do something, I don't want to. I don't even want you to do it no more. If people have to tell the NFL to be there for their players and have mental health be a priority, then it's like it's forced now. It doesn't even matter now. You feel me? I feel like it should never be to a point where we have to tell you to make sure that y'all guys that y'all are paying and watching every day and around every day are good mentally. You feel me?
structural change. Feheko said it best: make mental health check-ins mandatory. Don't leave it up to the player to come ask for help. Because in a locker room culture that glorifies toughness, most of them won't. Especially not when they know that showing vulnerability could cost them their roster spot. I want to end this by talking about who
But that's why I
Rondale...
feel like you gotta at least stay close to one person. Even if you don't, like even me, like even if I don't talk to people like that, I want to at least be close to one person so that you know. But that's also too, like if you never know, because you could like you may be scared to go talk to somebody, whatever, but you could really be the light of their life, bro. And you can really be the person that they go to, and you can damn near save their life by them just having you and having you to vent to and being there. You know, that's why I feel like you really gotta be there for people, bro.
Moore actually
you just never know.
He was a kid from New Albany, Indiana.
He
played basketball well enough to help his high school team win an Indiana 4A state championship before transferring to Trinity in Louisville for football. He was a guy who had a 3.71 GPA as a freshman at Purdue, the third highest on the team, while putting up the best season in program history.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that was some real talent though. Like you went crazy in the NBA, or not NBA, in basketball. You got a championship. You had an amazing GPA. Because I feel like having a good GPA and being in the NFL without cheating. I mean, having a good GPA and being good without cheating is like real talent. You feel me? And then you
a dude who
won
formed
a
a real
championship
friendship with
NBA,
Tyler Trent during the most difficult time in Trent's life, exchanging game day messages of encouragement. He was a teammate that everyone loved, a player rep for the NFLPA who cared about the guys around him, and apparently a friend who was texting his people hours before the end. Sauce Gardner wrote, "Make sure y'all are checking in on your strong friends too." And that's the message I want to leave you all with today. The people who seem the most put together, the ones who are always encouraging everyone else.
And I also heard a quote too. It said the people who are the funniest are going through the most, bro. So you gotta check on them too. The class clowns you see every day making jokes and making fun of people. Well, not making fun of people, but just making jokes, all happy. You gotta check on them too, bro. Because I feel like they just trying to entertain people so that they can get laughs and they can feel like they're accepted, or
The ones who never complain, those are often the ones who are carrying the heaviest load, and they're the ones most likely to suffer in silence. Rondale Moore was special, not just as a football player, but as a person. And the fact that we're talking
about, like when they do that like mental health stuff, they need to keep it off camera, so that people don't just feel like, oh, you're just doing it for the camera, or if the person, like if they're interviewing, say they're interviewing an NBA player, NFL player. They don't want them to feel like that NFL player is being watched, and that they have to say specific things to not get traded, or you know what I'm saying, or that whatever they're saying they don't want to say it on camera.
About him in past tense at 25 years old is something that should make every single person in the NFL, from Roger Goodell to the last practice squad player, stop and think about whether they're really doing enough. Rest in peace, Rondale Moore, number 4. You deserved better.
Say comments, man. Shout out Mike, though. I've personally been treated for mental health stuff for roughly half of my life. It's okay to need help. I'm 43 and I don't show a whole lot of emotions. I'm very and I still remember with symptoms. every day. That's bigger than me. It's crazy too. I feel like too bigger. Like when you see a big, strong guy, bro. I'm telling you. Services. The NFL Player Union. I don't even know what that is. But that's about it, bro. Let me just say something. Oh shoot. There we go. Alright, RP to him, man. Love y'all, more videos today. Y'all get y'all mental health up, man. If y'all need help, ask for that shit, man. Alright? Don't ever feel scared to cry or ask for help or anything, bro. You're a human being just like everybody else, bro. Same people that make fun of you for crying and shit, with same people doing the same thing, same people going through the same thing. Feel me? And they may have did even worse than you have. Feel me? You was crying and they was trying to, feel me? So just, love y'all, man. Y'all stay safe. Keep y'all mental health up, man. Peace out. RP.